gosh, it's crazy. Just rage. Like he was just mad all that. He stopped napping. He would not nap. He was mad all the time. Like I remember we have like a toy fishing pole that's got a big magnet on the end, and he just like swung that at me, and I had this giant goose egg on the front of my head from like, that was my, like, I'm at the neurologist, like, look what he's doing. Like he's scratching my face and he's not himself. This isn't working. We're not doing Keppra. So she gave us a different one. I think the second one was valproic acid, I think is what we started then at that point, and started to wean off the Keppra. But even then she tried to say, oh no, like that's just normal, that's normal. Just give him B6 and it'll be fine. Like, no, the B6 also isn't helping. And it was just so nonchalant. All of it was very like, I mean, I don't know. We don't know anything about seizures, so just deal with it. I don't know. Here's your Keppra. It was, and I couldn't handle it. So we went through like, it was also really hard because I was pregnant with my second son then, and he was due on March 12th, and this started February 1st. So all I'm thinking about is that he's coming, and I don't know how to deal with this, and I don't have the time for the behaviors either. So I've stayed on him we went through so many medications that first month. I want to say like 6 or something. We tried clobazam. That was even the worst, like peeing on the floor. And when his brother was born, he was on clobazam, and I didn't trust them and to be in the same room together. Like I thought he would injure the baby. It was that bad. And that doctor here in Des Moines was not helpful at all. I don't even know how to talk about that experience. Most of it was just turning him into, I mean, he didn't even look like the same kid. When I look back at pictures from that time, they're just like kind of shells of themselves almost, and you just look at him and like, this isn't my child. The rage, I want to say, was most of them, just rage and just general, like, just not behaving well. And like I said, the Keppra caused him to stop taking naps. And then felbamate was one of the medications that actually helped the most. But well, besides the, I guess, behavioral side effects of the medications, also physical. Like felbamate was helping with his seizures a lot, but it's also like terrible on your liver. And so, we're having labs done all the time to make sure his liver's not failing and, things like that. It was just a general sense that he is not the same kid. And he already had a speech delay when this started. So I don't know if that was all related, but it got even worse. He wasn't learning how to talk at all. So that was also terrible. Then he was starting to regress in all other areas. And that's what when they did the EEG told me was, like his brain activity in the background is slow. And that's what, and so all I'm seeing now is he's like, this is it. His life is over. I'm watching my child die is what it felt like. It was the worst time in my life. I can't even, like, being pregnant and then freshly postpartum and also dealing with that it was terrifying. The jerks and the drops, there was no when those were coming. And so he had several injuries from that too. We like guide that way. I'm scared you're gonna have to get him a helmet because he's still, even today, he fell down and like hit his head on a concrete floor, and he has like a big bump on his forehead from that. On his birthday last year, he fell down and like broke a tooth out of his mouth from that. Yeah. My biggest struggle with it probably has been, it's hard for me to do the recipes because most keto recipes end up, there's like quite a few grams of carbs per serving. Like if I'm kind of weird, if there's more than 1 gram of carbs per serving, I won't give it to him because you can only have 10 a day. So I'm like really choosy about it. So it's hard for me to do like meals for the whole family. So a lot of times I end up feeding my kids like the same thing, and I'll give the other one a little more, because he needs the fruits and vegetables. But then my husband and I, that's been harder for me to make meals for the whole family. So I'm kind of falling behind in like eating myself. So that's one thing I would tell people to work on, and I guess is finding family meals in a way to like, I tend to feel guilty. Like if I want to eat something that he can't have, I feel guilty about that. So then I just don't eat. And I don't think that's the way to handle it at all. I feel really guilty. And I do that about a lot of things. When I tell him, I'm sorry, you can't have this. There are things that are different, things that are healthy for you and things that are healthy for mommy or whatever, that's just not healthy for you, but it's healthy for me right now. But that's one of the hardest parts about it, I think, is stuff that he loves, or even, asking me for fruit. Like, can I have a banana? And I have to be like, no, you can't have a banana. For example, like a medium-sized strawberry, like 25 grams is like a whole gram of carbs. To be like, here's your one strawberry you can have. And then maybe at the end of the day, if you have a carb left over, we can have some more. That's really hard. And that's one that I'm like, should I try to figure this out better? Or like, do I get rid of carbs somewhere else so we can make sure that we're having that? But 10 carbs is so few that, man, it's really hard. It's really like the eggs, I give him 2 eggs every morning. That's like 1.3 grams of carbs right away, just with eggs. And yeah. We're really close with both of our extended families, our parents and everything. So I remember the first thing we did after we started the diet was my husband's family has a lake house, like at a lake, a popular lake here that everybody goes to in the summertime, and they want us, and it's a big party. And there's always, it's hamburgers and hot dogs and all the carbs, chips and buns, and all I'm seeing in my brain is like all of things my son can't have sitting out in this room, and so I'm like, I don't think we can do this, but obviously we had to. And so everybody was on board with being very helpful. Like that first time we went anywhere, it was keto weekend, and they did as much as they could to make sure that everything that everybody was eating was stuff that my son could have. And so, but then as we got farther into it, I learned how to tell him, no, you can't have that, but you can have this instead. But that it was really important to have family because I don't know if he would just grab a bun or grab something that was sitting. So everybody was good about making sure that stuff was put away, and that people weren't offering him things that he couldn't have and stuff like that. So that was really important. So that's how I handled that. Was at first kind of being controlling about it and like, you guys need to help, and we don't need the things around that he can't have. Now I've gotten to the point where it's my responsibility, and I just need to make sure that I'm watching him, or he understands what he can and can't have. And like, I do quite frequently go to fast food, I guess, and ask for like the burger without the bun. Like I'll say, can I have a meat patty and can I add bacon to that? And for whatever reason, that's really confusing to people. And so for a long time, they act irritated with me about it, that I'm asking for like this weird thing. And so like, I've got a son that has epilepsy, he's on keto. But then I started to feel like maybe that was making him feel weird, that I'm talking about it all the time. So I just stopped. I will make sure to say my son's on a medical keto diet, so yeah, if I feel like, and luckily I haven't, and so like when I ordered the burger without the bun, it came on a bun, and that happens quite a bit too. Or like I asked for no cheese and they give me the cheese. So I do a lot of like scraping and that kind of thing. So luckily I haven't had to like send anything back yet. But then yes, I would be like, yeah, I'm asking for this because it's really important for like, for example, at the Mexican restaurant, I asked for a soda water with a lime in it, and we had a little bit of a language barrier. She came back with a lemonade, and I had to be like, no, we cannot have this. Sorry, like take that back. I just, so that kind of, but no, I don't feel like I need to explain otherwise but another example I have is we go to a grocery store around here that's like it's called Fresh Time is the name of it. And they're like a natural type grocery store. And every time I go quite early in the morning, and they'll say, can I offer your kids some apples and bananas? And I'm like, no, thank you. That always sounds so weird. And again, like, I feel like maybe I should say something so I don't sound rude, but I don't want Fox to feel different. So I just don't. I just skip it. And no, thank you. That was really nice though. I'm not 100% sure that he has to do this anymore, but I'm gonna do it. I will do it for as long as I have to. But so that's been harder that my husband doesn't think it's as big of a deal. So he'll sneak him sometimes strawberries, or you know what I mean? Because he's like, I don't think it's a big deal. He can have that, especially if it's not like a really bad carb, you know, like it's a strawberry or something. He'll give it to him. So that's been a little bit harder. But since my other child is younger than him, he wants to do everything the big brother does anyway. And so he wants all the food that he's eating. And, you know, so the challenge has been that Logan's a baby and he needs to have some carbs. And so there's certain things that he needs to be having. And so when I do give him the fruit Fox really wants, and I just now, but that's made it easier for me in all situations to be like, you just can't, buddy. You just can't have it. I'm sorry. And I know it really stinks, but you just can't have it. Let's go find something else fun that you can have. Don't give up. Certainly not yet, because it will be such a miracle if you're able to wean your child off of those drugs, or yourself, whoever you're doing this for. This is such a miracle treatment. Keep going, because this is a way better direction than keeping to take the drugs. That's for sure.